Good Saturday morning from Åre, Sweden, for the women's giant slalom run. I'm Brian Stemmel, along with you for 52 racers on the women's start list today. On the penultimate giant slalom of the season. This is the last one before the World Cup finals, which will be held next weekend in Lillehammer, Norway. So up to Scandinavia for the final races of the season, and should be a fantastic race today because it's absolutely gorgeous here in Åre. First World Cup race here was 1969. The women have raced here since 1971. And that is the top of the Åre Mountain right there, the GS start. There's Sarah Hector racing at home. Olympic champion in Beijing and silver medalist in the giant slalom at the latest Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. She's thrilled to be racing her here. Heard from her earlier this morning. And Michaela Shiffren leads the overall standings. Not by much, only 125 points over Emma Eicher with 6 races left. Remember, 100 points each in each of the races, so lots of time to make up there. That's Camille Rast. Speaking Italian about her protection on her arms and legs, Julia Scheib leads the giant slalom standings over Camille Rast, just 89 points ahead. So with the win today, she could secure the giant slalom globe. She's been having a fabulous season, 4 wins on the circuit, and there they are. Got it all started in Solden, Tremblant, Semmering, and Kronplatz. And Sarah Hector, you could see, won the last race, and Spindlerud Melin. And just 2 races left. It's going to be coming down to the wire here today. Brignoni has won the last couple of races here. Remember, she packed it in after the Olympic Games after she took home 2 gold medals. Shiffren won here in 2023. And Michaela Shiffren also won her very first race here, a slalom, way back in 2012 when she was only 17 years old. Åre's hosted 26 World Cup women's giant slalom races since the first one was won by 17-year-old Anna-Marie Moser-Prohl from Austria. She was only 17. Shiffren's was only 17. Turned 31 yesterday. Michaela Shiffren celebrated her birthday and will hopefully celebrate a good performance here today. First run course should be a dandy. Set by Daniele Simoncelli, the Italian. The first Italian out of the gate will be Laura Dallamea. She goes number 8. Great conditions here, 2 degrees up top, 0 at the finish, a little bit of a temperature inversion. Should warm up for the second run. 52 gates, 50 of them turning. Max 59%, which is right at the top of the giant slalom, gets flatter down at the bottom, so easier course down at the bottom, but you have to be dialed in up top if you want to have a perfect run. And we'll get a look at it here from the POV camera. Peter Robertson out of the gate, and then 3 quick turns before it drops onto that very steep section of the course. Stovel-Branten takes the lay gate. It's a side hill right here, takes you over as the women will sweep to their left and then dive down to the right here. Back into the Brinksbrant. It's a fun section of the course here with a little bit of terrain as you come underneath this delay. Gotta watch out for the next blue. Have proper direction to the left because you can't see that red gate over the Russisprung. Remember, this is the bottom part of the downhill where they race the World Championships 3 times here in Åre, Sweden. And then this is the fun part of the course. Really gets narrow, but it's kind of a bowl, almost like a half-pipe shape. And the other rolly, the Galbakken. A little bit of terrain here on the side of the hill, or on the side hill, excuse me. More turns on that left foot. It's going to be a little more difficult than the right foot, but then it gets nice and smooth down here at the bottom. Gates about 25 meters apart, most of them 26 meters apart. The Malbranten is the last roller as you come down to the finish line in the beautiful resort town of Åre, Sweden. There's the hill, the top of the mountain. Right above Lake Åre, or the Arsian Lake, about 6 square kilometers, frozen over in early November till May. You'll see it at the bottom. Just a beautiful part of the Swedish country, about 5 hours northwest of Stockholm. Here are the top athletes' presentations. Stjernesson will go #1, Olympic silver in the GS. Rast, second in the GS standings. Scheib leads with 3 wins. Paula Moltzan, queen of recovery, second in the last GS race. Alice Robinson, 2 wins earlier this season. Michaela Shiffren celebrated her 31st birthday yesterday, leads the overall, wrapped up the slalom. Sarah Hector at home. Lara Delamea, no top 3s yet this year, but this best start number for her. Drinka Lutic, sole Croatian in the field, and Canada's #1 GS skier, Valerie Grenier. Laura Kulturi, Lena Richardson, second Canadian out of 3 Canadian racers. We'll see Cassidy Gray coming up a little bit later. Nina O'Brien and Sofia Goggia, who's always exciting to watch, leads the Super G standings. She'll try and wrap that up in Norway at the World Cup Finals next week. There's Julia Scheib. It's not Julia Scheib, that's Julia Scheib sitting at the top, 89 points ahead. Julia Scheib wins in Norway, she'll win the GS Globe. If Scheib finishes second, Rast must win to keep the Globe alive. Scheib is third, Rast must finish in the top 4. Hector must win to keep the Globe alive. So lots of scenarios to play out over these 2 runs here in Åre. It's a beautiful lake below that's frozen over. We'll zoom up into the start just a couple minutes before we, 1 minute now before we get things going. Julia Scheib with the red leader bib. She'll start #3. Paula Moltzan getting ready. Nice warm conditions here, so the athletes warm up with their jackets off. Dial in all those visualization techniques that they've implemented over the last hour or so inspecting this course. 40 minutes to inspect the whole giant slalom run. Not that long, but just enough time to get back up to the top and tuck into the start gate. So 30 seconds to go before we'll see Louise Stjernesson from Norway. And we're underway in the women's giant slalom here in Åre on the Audi FIS Ski World Cup Tour. Comes Louise Stjernesson. Nice and smooth so far. Olympic silver medal in GS, tied with Sarah Hector. Was thrilled to come home and share it with her family. Really grateful for the medal, she said earlier. She said, even I'm nervous thinking about how nervous I was at the Olympics, but delivered on the most important day of her season so far. Good smooth turns from Stjernesson up top. It's a drone chasing her down, really give you a good idea of how it goes here. Look at this little tricky part right there. Major side hill as you come over that last roll. Or second last roll, there's one more down at the bottom. She fell training in Norway last week. Knee took a bit of a hit, sprained ACL and bone bruise, but she's a fighter, she's back at it. sits 7th in the GS standings, and looks like a good run from Stjernesund. Said she wasn't nervous with number 1. Doesn't have to worry about anybody else. She sets a time 1:13.30. Aye. Yeah, it's a long course. Just under minute 15, but she's done it well. Camille Rast up next from Switzerland. Second in the giant slalom standings, 89 points back for Camille Rast. She's having a terrific season, second in the slalom standings as well. Michaela Shiffren has already wrapped up the slalom title, and Rast will finish second in the slalom standings. She's a good ways ahead of Wendy Holdner, her teammate. He's got a good lead up top. There's the Rusi Sprung, really drops off right there. Steep 2 gates right here before it flattens out once again. Wow, over a second ahead for Camille Rast. Been so consistent all season long. One win in Kranjska Gora. Second in Tremblant as well, and wow, she's really increasing her lead, skiing a fantastic first run. Camille Rast, 1.44 up on Thea-Louisa Stjernesund. So she got just a little late coming off the steep section of the course, but took it back up and got online again. But beautiful pictures here in Åre. Perfect racing conditions. Here we go with the giant slalom leader. It's Julia Scheib. So she could secure the globe with a win. Let's see what she can do at the top part of the course. Four wins so far this season. Didn't score any points in Splinleruv, but may not need them if she can stay on her feet here and have a good race. Staying in touch with Rast so far. A little wide coming through that red gate, but no issues so far. Linking together the turns beautifully. Tricky little side hill. For the second last roller for the petite Julia Scheib from Austria. Okay, the 27-year-old, a little squirrely there, but not too bad. Just 1200s back. Last roller down to the line. And 1100s back puts her in a nice spot. Good ski there, smart skiing. Don't wanna go 110% and blast off course. Just skied within her limits, and her limits are right at the top. That's where she got that that left ski separated from her right ski, but got it back no problem. She's smooth and in the finish area. Fifth in the giant slalom standings, it's Paula Moltzan, bronze in the team combined at the Olympic Games with her teammate Jacqueline Wiles. 15th in the Olympic giant slalom was a bit of a disappointment for Moltzan. But she's got a lot of speed up top. Skis with such an aggressive style, more in the back seat. That's why she's the queen of recoveries, because she does make some mistakes. Often gets into problems, but look at those turns coming down over the Rusi Sprung. Beautiful here, enough to stay on that left foot as it drops away there. It's like a ski cross set through that section of the course. Whoa, there's another recovery. Just a little bobble, but nothing too dangerous. Okay, Moltzan fighting her way down now, getting a little bit in the yellow. 5 gates left. Let's see how she can manage these last few turns. Lost a lot of time down at the bottom. She settles into third. Probably knows she didn't have a perfect run, but other than that, it was fairly solid from Paula Moltzan. 6th in the GS here last year. She's also 6th in the slalom, but 4th is her career best up here in Åre, Sweden. Out of the gate, 5th in the giant slalom standings, Alice Robinson from New Zealand, 2nd last year here in Åre. Skied the Super G last weekend in Val di Fassa in Italy. She was 4th there. Smooth and relaxed, composed skiing so far for Alice Robinson. Of course, starting to get a bit of a groove in there. They're worried about that, the conditions. Didn't know if this would hold up whatsoever. They did water it earlier this week, the course, but it hasn't frozen to their liking. There will be a bit of a groove developing, and it already has developed just after these first 5 races have come down. Best time in that midway section so far for Alice Robinson, 24-year-old. Originally from Sydney, Australia, but the Kiwi kid really wide through the bottom part of the course, but should be a good run from Robinson. Oh, lost a whole bunch of time at the bottom for half a second in that final section. Final section's only 13 seconds long, and she lost half a second down there just from getting wide over that last gate. I know she made a mistake. It's a little tap on that Red Bull helmet.
Thank you. Very, very good. You did a mistake. You were in the front, I think. You were quite fast. I'm still happy. After the Olympics, I'll be happy.
That's funny from Moltzan. After the Olympics, she'll be happy. She was 15th in the GS at the Olympics, so it wasn't her best, but her teammate now, Michaela Shiffren,
1 minute.
iced in the start a little bit, but that's okay. A little time to think for Shiffren. Think about all the good memories she's had here. Won her very first World Cup race here in Åre in 2012. 14 years ago, it's her first slalom win. Also became the winningest skier of all time here in 2023 when she won race number 86 and 87 to pass Ingemar Stenmark. Was a world champion in slalom here, so heck, where hasn't she won?
Drive through. Let's go, Michaela.
Our start coach Regan gives her last minute advice in the hop, up, 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 which is normal here for Shiffren. You hear that every single race, every single one of her 108 wins on the World Cup circuit. Remarkable accomplishment. Got the lead up top. This is good so far. Just skis with such a gorgeous style. Never in doubt. Always forward and balanced on her edges. Brilliant turns right there. 3rd in the last race in Czechia. First time on the GS podium in a long time, about 15 races. And here comes Shiffren with a good, healthy lead. Half a second now, oh yes. Look out, Michaela Shiffren, looking for another win here in Åre, Sweden. Oh no! Oh my goodness! She had the lead, came through that fourth last gate, and is now 2.29 back in sixth. Oh, I've never seen that from Shiffren. Heck, she doesn't fall much. Doesn't make mistakes often either, but didn't have the proper direction coming over the last roll. Almost goes down on her side. Look at her face. Uh-oh. She knows she's in trouble, mate. Makes a good recovery. So Shiffren, who celebrated her 31st birthday yesterday, will not be celebrating that first run too much because of that big mistake. Here's the hometown kid, Sarah Hector, two-time Olympic medalist. Third in the giant slalom standings. Third in the GS standings the last couple of seasons as well. Said very cool to be racing at home, trying to push hard today. She's never won here, but been on the podium 3 times before. Almost looking for her tuck there. There it is again. Talk about pushing hard. It's Sarah Hector from Sweden. She can hear it already. 1/10 of a second up. Brought home by the crowd down at the bottom. Now 1/10 of a second up. Wouldn't this be great for the silver medalist? Oh no, same mistake as Shiffren, and she's down into the B net. Wow, I think she's going to be okay. Just slid into that B net. I'd like to see that B net in the banners a little bit wider so she could have had time to recover before she ate a little bit of plastic there, but she gives the wave, and now the course worker's down, or is that her coach? Hey, it's steep down there. It doesn't look like it, but all sorts of problems down at the bottom in the last couple of minutes. So here she is, comes over that rise, not enough direction to her left, loses ski contact. You have to move forward. Oh, man. Down, 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 and yeah, serviceman can't watch. Coaches can't believe it either. Sarah Hector will be a DNF on the first run. We'll have a bit of a hold here until she regains all of her belongings. I was really looking forward to see her go on that second run. As I said, hasn't won here before, but would love to win a race here at home. She'll have to wait until the slalom tomorrow. She's ranked 10th in the slalom standings, but definitely GS is her favorite event.
You never know really what to do. But it was nice to start from the top. Yes. I mean, it's fun. Yeah, really. When it's like this, it's really good. Tough, yeah. But when it's now, nice work. Yes, it's really good.
Shiffren, always the professional, very kind woman and humble winner. Often that's the best part, going over your run with the other athletes as you get down to the finish. Sarah Hector is still waiting for her right ski. Where is it? Way up there. It's stuck in the net. They can't get it out. There we go. Okay, all set. Sofia Goggia in the blue of the Azzurri from Italy. She's putting on bib number 15. There's her teammate, Lara Dallamea, taking her skis off in the start because of this short interruption. She'll be up next. Now Hector will get a good hand as she crosses the line. Let's wait for Estelle Alphon to see another Swede. She'll go number 22. Born in France, but races for Sweden. Also Hilma Lofblom, number 36. And then two Swedes later, Hanna Ronsen-Elfven and Sophie Nyberg. In her very first World Cup race, she'll go number 44, daughter of Frederick. Good spot to be in for Camille Rast. Knows she didn't have a perfect run. Knows a couple of women were a little bit faster than she was, but she still sits in first place. Putting on a little bit of pressure for Julia Scheib, who's only 1100ths back. Paula Moltzan in third, 0.56 back. Robinson, Stjernesson, and Shiffren, 2.29 back. Be interesting to see if Shiffren qualifies for that second run. But I think as this course gets a little bit more rough, some of the athletes will be a little bit further back. As Lara Delamea tightens up that chin strap. Going to let it fly here in the women's GS in Åre. Here's Lara Delamea on course. You can see on the graphic there, fourth in the Olympic Games. It was a great experience for her. Felt really good to be oh so close to a medal. The best start number ever for her in giant slalom, racing number 8, just out of that top group. Really consistent season so far. Very happy with her performances. Didn't score points in the first race in Solden, and after that, it's been top 10s galore. 2 7th place finishes have been her best. Whoa, a little wide there. Standing fairly upright, Lara Delamea. Whoa, look out. Got caught there, had to make a quick recovery. Out right here, that's good direction. Okay, done that smoothly. Here comes Lara Delamea, the Italian, down to the line. 2.42 back. She's just behind Shiffren, so maybe Michaela will be okay for qualifying for that second run. See Lara Delamea just wide at the top part of the course where it's really steep, 59% grade. And then again at the bottom, caught a little snow snake. Only Croatian in the field today, Zrinka Lutic, 9th in the GS standings. Speeding well at the beginning of the season, but has been struggling since. She was third in Mont Tremblant way back on December 6th. The disappointing Olympic Games, 26th in the slalom, 17th in the giant slalom for the 3-time World Cup winner. Be better turns in there, but a little late, taking it too deep and having to turn below the gate more than she'd like to. After having a peek over her shoulder to see the next gate, you have to do it importantly here. Didn't see that blue, and then again late in that line. Watch her tracks after she makes the turn and how much different they are than some of the other athletes. Now she's back into the rhythm again in the flow. At 0.86 behind in the time. Here comes Lutic. She's into 5th, just over a second back. So DNFs have been an issue for her. Didn't finish in the last GS. last 2 GSs. And has had a bunch of falls in slalom on the first and second run. She's had 5. Her other slalom results have been pretty good. There's Canadian Valerie Grenier, 8th in the giant slalom standings. Last Canadian to be on a giant slalom podium here in Åre was Geneviève Simard in 2006 when she was 2nd. Val had a very serious knee injury here in 2019 in downhill training, broke her leg in 4 places, broke her right ankle, and made her a miraculous comeback. 3rd to Mont Tremblant earlier this season for Valerie Grenier, and spoke to her coach Laurent Prats last night, and he said he's really believing in Val Grenier right now, really feels good about her chances here. Doing well so far, she's in the mix, just 0.23 back for Grenier right now. Had a fall in training yesterday, bruised her face a little bit, but that's not affecting her whatsoever. 0.14 now, the best interval time through the midway part of the course. Here comes Val Grenier, watch out down at the bottom. No, she's made the same mistake as Shiffren and Hector, and she's done when she was in certain territory to be in that top 3. Oh, darn. Oh, too bad. Looked so good coming in, and then just not enough direction again. Couldn't make that gate, couldn't make a Michaela Shiffren type recovery. And she will be upset with that one. 14th in the giant slalom standings, Laura Colturi for Albania. Born in Italy to Daniele Ceccarelli, Olympic champion for Italy in downhill. Excuse me, in Super G, I believe. Laura was 3rd here last year to Federica Brignone and Alice Robinson. Six is her best in giant slalom so far this season. A little more overcast right now. Sun seems to be out down here, but up top it's a little more gray. Turning a little ways off the pace. She's ranked better in slalom this season. She's 5th in the slalom rankings. Got to be careful right here. Last year was the other way around for her. She was better in GS than in slalom. Down the line to the 7th place. So in the finish comfortably for the 19-year-old Albanian. I keep after reminding myself how young she is. Born in 06, late 06 in November. Well, Germany's Lena Dürr will be on course next. Then Canadian Britt Richardson, Nina O'Brien, Sofia Goggia round out the top 15. Here goes Dürr. #249th start today in her illustrious World Cup career. 2 wins, 17 top 3s in slalom. None in GS. Everybody's spoken about her Olympic difficulties, where she was 2nd in the first run in giant slalom, and then slipped back to 9th, and then a crushing defeat in the slalom where she was again 2nd after the first run, and hooked her tip on the very first gate of that 2nd run. Or is one of her favorite venues in the World Cup calendar. Been 4th a couple of times here, achieved many good results. First race back here in 2012. Good direction over that last roll. Some of the women are having absolutely no problems there. She's into the finish into 10th. So currently she is 10th and last because of the 2 DNFs. Here comes Canadian Britt Richardson up next. Here she goes, Britt Richardson, 13th in the GS standings. 9th in the last race in Spindlerud-Milne, really having a great consistent season. 22-year-old from Canmore, Alberta. Just been moving up consistently every year in the GS standings. Finished 21st last season. 0.35 back at the top, steep part of the course. Watch her technique down here, really knows how to link the turns perfectly together. Been sick the last little bit, still not 100%, low energy, but she's a racehorse. And here's where those skills will shine right now. Really learned a lot from Valerie Grenier. Smooth through that straight section there. A little late. Noticing a little lack of gumption maybe because of that illness she suffered over the last week or so. Really bad 2 days ago. Feeling better this morning, but still not at the top of her game. The Canadian Britt Richardson in the closing stages. 11th. Yeah, she just wants to go to bed. That sickness will just knock the stuffing out of you. Just have no energy. You're not able to push as much as you'd like, and she's feeling it. American Nina O'Brien. You saw their 5th and last race in Czechia. Season's best so far for Moltzan. Or excuse me, O'Brien. Moltzan sits in 3rd. Shiffren sits in 8th. O'Brien always on the edge. 3 DNFs this season, and 4 times she's finished in the top 11. So it's either hit or miss for Nina O'Brien. Good skiing in there, really strong. Keep those hips nice and high, resisting against all those G-forces that are pushing against her. Did the ski sideways there for a moment. Well, those DNFs she's had this year, she's been skiing really well at the time she skied out. Fell the first run in Semmering GS when she had the lead midway. Fell in Kronplatz in the second run when she had 0.67 of a lead. Going to make it down here to the line today, but not as fast as she'd like. Wow, way back 3 seconds plus. 28-year-old from San Francisco. Little out of sorts, not too many mistakes. But just skiing on the edge all the time. There's a leader in the Super G standings. It's Sofia Goja, 4th in the overall. 7th in downhill, which is a bit of a surprise. She's that far back in DH. But she's been good in GS, 16th in the standings. Really refined her technique in giant slalom over the last few seasons, and now skiing really well. Doesn't look like a downhiller whatsoever. Looks like a top-notch GS skier. A couple of 8th place finishes so far this season in giant slalom. Just under a second back for Goja. Had a bronze in the downhill at the Olympic Games, completed her collection of each color of medal. First woman in history to win 3 Olympic downhill medals. Into the medals on the first run. Tucks into 7th. 1.56 back. So Gojo will regroup for the second run as we look at the leader, Camille Rast. Started number 2, finished number 1, 0.11 ahead of Julia Scheib. They're battling for the GS crown, so that will be fun to watch on the second run if they stick in those positions. So it's Rast, Scheib, Paula Moltzan not too far back, Robinson from New Zealand, Lutic, Stjernason from Norway, Gojek, Kulturi, man, all countries represented in the top 10 here on the first run. Nicely through the top 15 here in Åre. Wendy Holdner will go number 16, and there she is in the start. Putting her poles over the wand already, so she's keen to go. First time Wendy Holdner raced here in 2011, it was in downhill, believe it or not. She's become one of the best slalom and GS skiers in the world, 3rd in the slalom standings. Michaela Shiffren has already wrapped up that title. We'll see them go in the slalom tomorrow. Holdner ranked 23rd in the GS, so trying to hang on to that top 25 position, which will set her up for the World Cup Finals next week. Remember, top 25 only qualify for the World Cup Finals in each of these 4 disciplines in Alpine skiing. Got great memories here in Åre. Won 2 gold medals at the World Championships in 2019 in the Alpine Combined and the Team Parallel. 6 has been her best here in giant slalom. And 2 seconds back at the interval. Gonna land her just out of the top 10 if this continues, and it does. 2.96 now. Holdner, clock ticking away, and it ticks up to 3.52 back on 15.38. She'll be feeling the pressure a little bit of being ranked 23rd, tied for 23rd with Vanessa Kasper, her Swiss teammate. They're both at 70 points, and then Sue Pillar, the 3rd Swiss in a row, is at 69 points. DeRay 68, AJ Hurt 68, so really close there for the top 25. We turn our attention now to Emma Eicher. Born in Sweden, but skis for Germany. This is her home race. We'll race for the Downhill Globe next week. Whoa, hang on, Emma. She sits 2nd in the downhill standings to Laura Paravano, believe it or not. Paravano won both races last week in Val di Fassa, vaulting herself up to the top of the leaderboard in downhill. And here comes the 3-time Olympic medalist. 2 medals at the latest Olympic Games, and they were both silvers. 0.53 back, really good for Emma Eicher. So here she comes, silver in the downhill, silver in the team combined, and 6th in the first run. Just having a fantastic season. She's starting number 16 because she's ranked 28th in GS, but she has over 500 points. So if you're in the top 30 in GS, you can move up to 16th. Same as Holdner, who's coming up next, or who's just skied before us. Same deal there. Mina First Holtman, ranked 19th in GS. Similar ranking in giant slalom the last 5 seasons, and has struggled a little bit more in slalom this season. It saved her best results for the Olympic Games when she was 6th in the GS. Really smooth link turns, maybe doesn't quite have the speed that she'd like. It's so hard to tell when you're giving it your all. They're going 100% all the time. But sometimes just not as fast as some of the other athletes. So Mina First, Holtman. 5 gates left over this last little roller. Good direction there. Into the final gate. The 12th. So the 30-year-old Norwegian who will be going to the World Cup Finals next week in her home country in Lillehammer will have to settle for a decent first run. Stephanie Brunner from Austria, from Zillertal, 32-year-old. Sits 17th in the GS standings. Oh, a little wide for Brunner. What this next interval time says here, 1.3. Holy, lost a whole bunch of time there, almost 9/10 of a second. Been skiing really well so far this season, very consistent. 1 DNF in giant slalom, but the rest all in the top 25. 11th has been her best, 1.66 now back. Lander in the top 10, going to be close for Brunner. Smashing that blue gate out of the way. Here she comes in the closing stages. And 10th exactly from Brunner. So lots of time separating the top 10. There you can see the Tux on her helmet. That's where she's from. Tux in Zillertal, about 10-minute drive up the valley from Hintertux. 20th ranked in giant slalom for Italy. Asia Zenere, career best 3rd in Val di Fassa in the Super G last week. Started number 33, and snuck into the bronze medal position. Her teammate Elena Curtoni won, so it was a great day for the Azzurri. An incredible day from Zenere. She'll remember that podium for the rest of her life. I remember my first one, 85 for Ano Japan. Stephen Lee and Daniel Meyer tied for the lead. And I was 3rd. So Aja coming off that bronze medal finish. Into 9th, very good. 9th has been her best finish in GS so far this season, but to put one in there in the first run like that, it's incredible. So really feeling confident right now, and that's what a bronze medal will do. It'll just take that confidence and push it right up to the top of your game. Then the expectations rise, and she's delivered. Just full of confidence. Great skiing. American AJ Hurt coming up next. Yeah, ciao, ciao. See you in the second run. Here's the American. 8th in Spin the Roop / Giant Slalom in Czechia. This is way back in January, and 24th of January, so it's been a long time since the women have raced Giant Slalom on the World Cup circuit. Amelia Joseph, or AJ, she's better known, was 19th in the slalom at the Olympic Games and fell in the first run of the GS in Cortina. Whoops. .59, that's really good, even though she's looking like she's not trying, but really giving it all for her all, just because she's so smooth. Just letting those skis glide nicely, not putting too much added pressure on them, at least that she doesn't need, and she's into 14th. It's a good, calm, relaxed run from AJ. 25-year-old from Truckee. Head into that second run in good position. Okay, the French woman racing for Sweden, Estelle Alphon. 21st in the GS standings this season. She'll be hearing it from the Swedish crowd. Remember Dad Luc Alphon, great skier from France. Oh no, she's out. Her mom's Swedish, that's why she races for Sweden. Didn't feel that they had a good program for the French giant slalom team when she first started, and she would be a DNF. Down on her side really quickly and out off course. So with 77 points, it'll be interesting to see if she can hang on to that top 25. Remember I said she's ranked 21st. And the others are just 10 points back. And all you have to do to get 10 points is finish 21st. So will be a tough watch for Estelle Alphon on the second run, as Rast still leads, Julia Scheib in second, Moltzan in third. Shiffren down to 12th now. That's okay, she'd like a few more people to beat her. It means she'll get a better start number. She'll have smoother conditions, and then she'll know that she can beat some of the later starters here because she is just oh so good. But her teammates in a good spot so far. It's Moltzan in third. So hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning. Watching the Audi FIS Ski World Cup Tour, top 22 down, most of them down safely. A couple of spills from Sarah Hector, Val Grenier skied out, and the latest Estelle Alphon down on her side, and she's out. This is Nina Asner from Austria, 18th in the GS standings. Nina's on course, still suffering from a little bit of a pain in a training crash earlier this week. She was deciding this morning if she was going to start the race or not, but here she is. Takes a lot of courage and bravery, especially to ski that really steep first pitch, bring a lot of speed in that left footer right now. Steep pitch takes you over to the skier's left and then back down this beautiful hill here in Åre. Great downhill here. Come flying over that Russi jump. Oh no, and she's done. She decided to pull off. Maybe not at 100% because of that fall. Yeah, tried. She gave it an effort, but just couldn't do it. So that'll be the 4th DNF of this morning's first run. There's Vanessa Casper. '23rd in the GS standings, best season of her career so far. Just won a couple of Europa Cups in Oppdal, Norway. Some world-class competition. And she's on course. 23rd in the Olympic giant slalom. It's icy up top. Different conditions here at the top part of the course and down at the bottom. The athletes knew that from having heard about the course yesterday from their coaches and course workers. They skied on the training hill just beside the course. Didn't allow them to ski on this, or free ski on this hill. It gets a little softer as you come down to the bottom of the Russi Sprung and through the midway part of the course. 44 seconds into her run. Let's see what the time says. 1.5 back, the 29-year-old. A little wide there, but being a decent run so far. 2.24 back. Casper looking for a good result in the first run, 17th. Okay, puts her in the mix. Remember, 23rd in the standings. She just needs some points to be able to hang on to that top 25. So we'll get a good look at her in the second run to see how close she can be to that top 25. Scored points in every GS except 2 this season for Vanessa Casper. Clara Direy up next for France. Tied for 26th in the standings, just 1 point back for the pilot from France. Took a little bit of time off at home when she was there this past couple of weeks. Flew around Mont Blanc in her plane. She joked on Instagram about doing a little ski mo too, a little ski touring. After she was a DNF in the giant slalom in the first run at the Olympic Games. She's only qualified for the finals 2 out of 8 times. So this would be something for her if she can somehow sneak in there. With the last interval time, 2.9 back for Direy. It's 8th at the World Championship GS back in 2019 here in Åre. 7th has been her best. She won't get to that positioning today in the first run. She's 21st, and that's last so far. Must be feeling a lot of pressure to get into those World Cup finals. But if anybody can do it and direct your way down properly, it's the pilot. There's Sue Pillar, Kantner Freiburg in Switzerland. Second place is Alexis Monet. Men are racing in Courchevel today in the Super G. A good race in the downhill yesterday, won by Marco Odermatt. He secured his downhill globe once again. Odermatt leads the overall. Whoa, Sue's a little squirrely with that left foot getting shattered and bounced around. Course conditions holding up a little bit better than what I thought. See some grooves in the course. right there, but nothing too rattly. She had a career best 6 in spin la roue just before the Olympic Games. Raced in the World Junior Championships in Narvik the last few days, was 3rd in the team parallel, 25th in the GS. She was tied for 2nd in the first run and then faltered dramatically in that second run. She'll try and turn things around here where she's 20th in this race. Yeah, World Junior Championships have gone off without a hitch so far. Whoa, there's that left ski really chattering around. Didn't have quite enough pressure on it, but looks like Sue will be back for that second run. American Elizabeth Bocock coming up next. There she is. Silver in the World Junior Championships Giant Slalom on Thursday. Just turned 21 years old on March 9th. So watch out for Elizabeth. And oh, no. She's out. Too bad. I was about to say her sister Mary's coming up number 42, and her sister Mary is going to have to hold up what she can for the Bocock sisters here as we see Elizabeth ski out. Classic mistake. Tips over on her side and then just clips that gate, but couldn't make it around with enough direction to make that red gate. Yeah, you just need a hug after and then move on quickly to the next race because it happens so often in giant slalom and slalom where one little slip and you're standing at the side with your coach rather than at the bottom in the finish area with a good time. Norwegian Madeline Sylvester Davik, 31st in the giant slalom standing. She'll need at least 20 points to get into the World Cup finals, so positioning of 13th or better overall. And maybe can get a top 20 here in the first run and then see how it all shakes out in the second run. There's good feelings here in Norway, 16th last year, second best ever finish. A really promising young skier, lots of potential. Maybe Norway's athlete of the future because you can see in her technique, absolutely dialed in. Just gorgeous how she stands over that outside ski, really separates her upper body from the lower body, and you can hear her working. Getting those arms up in the air a little bit. But that just tells me she's 20 years old and hasn't quite refined that technique, but those atomics can motor. 2.2 back now. Career best 13th earlier this season. We see Sylvester Davik come through the finish in the 16th. Heck of an effort. Okay, so now has to move up 3 places, and she'll be in that top 25. You notice her arms getting up in the air. And again, I don't mind going back like that, that's fine, but when they come up a little bit, you're taking some pressure off those edges when you need all the pressure in the world in GS. Here's Franzi Gritsch from Austria, from Innsbruck, 29-year-old. Skiing on her own, separately from the Austrian team. Has been racing in the NORAM Cup circuit over in North America. Leads the giant slalom standings, second in the slalom standings. And what the NORAM Cup does for athletes who are just trying to get some FIS points and move their way up in the standings is to qualify and get a spot for the World Cup races. So if you win the NORAM Cup in giant slalom, you'll get a spot for the entire season, the following season, on the World Cup. So she's trying to secure her spot for next season. The finals are in Aspen next week, so she'll fly over to Colorado and be involved in those. She's 33rd in the standings, probably won't make the World Cup finals. 19th on the first run, good ski. She turns 30 tomorrow, does Franzi Gritsch. Celebrating her birthday a little bit early, maybe in the second run. From the United States, Katie Hensian. Earlier this year in Levi, Finland, she straddled a slalom gate at a small fracture in her ankle and was out about 6 weeks. She's come back nicely. Oops, a little bit late there in the line, coming down that Rusi slope. But good interval up top, just 0.33 back. Let's see if she can hang in there. I don't like that draft on your right going into the blood red. 1.24. She won't make the finals this, oh no, she's down, watch out. So she'll come safely to a sliding stop. I was about to say 41st in the GS standings. Ranked 22nd last year, but because of those injuries at the beginning of the season, she won't make the finals. Had a bit of a frustrating season as a 26-year-old from Redmond, Washington. Whoa. Yeah, just didn't negotiate that one properly. Almost got it in the face too, that pole. Just in a compressed position. Their teammates looking on and they can't watch. Oh yeah, but it's not bad. It's okay, Paula, she's fine, she's up. We're finished the top 30. Switzerland, Austria, United States. We just saw Moltzan there, still sits in third. Robinson not too far back. Lutic in fifth. Good run from her so far. Emma Eicher in sixth. Stiernissen, seventh. Gojitz and Enrique Kulturi round out the top 10. You get a look at the rest of the racers. Canadian Britt Richardson, after seeing her teammate go out, would have been into the top 3 if she'd negotiated those gates properly, but Val Grenier's out, and be all over to Britt Richardson on that second run for Canada. Okay, here's number 31, coming off 2 downhill wins, her first 2 career wins ever, Laura Pirovano. And if you can believe it, both of those races were won by the slimmest of margins. Just 1/100th of a second last Saturday and Sunday. So here she goes, Pirovano from Italy, on course. So the interval times will shorten now from number 30 to our last racer, number 52. Janine Mackler. They'll be a minute apart, so there'll be 2 athletes on the course at once, while Pirovano gets down to a minute into her first run. The next racer, Ilaria Ghisalberti, will push out of the start, her teammate. 1.86, that's decent interval for the downhiller. Will be wearing the red leader bib coming into the World Cup finals in the downhill. First time she's worn the red leader bib. Also has 500 points. That's why she's starting number 31. Into 25th, she's got to be happy. Here's Ilaria Ghisalberti. The Italian on tape out of the start. Now we pick her up live down over the Rusi Sprung. Got her best World Cup result ever, 18th in Spin the Roof in Czechia at the end of January. Last giant slalom. It was held on the World Cup circuit before this one here in Åre. Overcast skies now, a little bit more flat light, but still really good conditions. Here comes a 25-year-old from Zogno in Italy in the Lombardy region. It's Alberte into 25th spot, just ahead of Paravano, just by 300ths. As they go over the run to the finish. And we look up to the start. Doriana Scane. Best season so far for her. Feeling better with her head skis. Remember, she switched from Rosignol to head, a little wide there. Those heads need to bend for her a little bit so she can get back on course and into the flow. A little wide again. She's a woman with a quiet personality, kind of reflects in her skiing technique, really nice and calm and quiet. Smooth skiing, but a couple of mistakes will send her a little bit further back than what she'd like as she reaches for the beam in the 27th spot. She may not qualify for that second run. Gives a shake of the head knowing that wasn't her best. Dania Allenbach from Switzerland. She'll be up next. We have a little bit of a race interruption now. They'll repair one of the gates, maybe. Love the sound of the squeaky boots in the start. Means it's cold and they're working well underneath their feet. Daniela Allenbach on that gorgeous helmet, just like Loic Meillard. So just 19 years old from Stade in Switzerland. Stood on her skis at the age of 2 on her local mountain with her 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Race in the World Juniors, was 4th in the Super G, 3rd in the team parallel, 12th in the GS, and here she goes. Really relaxed, smooth style. Oh, hold on. There's so much speed into that left foot turn. Got to hang on for dear life in there. That's a beautiful turn too, man. Does she really know how to arc those Solomon skis? Good stuff so far. She's the weekly warrior in Kranjska Gora, pardon me. Bib number 50 all the way to 27th in her very first World Cup race. Did the same thing in Kronplatz. Finished 22nd from bib 48. So she is on a rapid rise here. I'd like to see that time a little bit less right now. I'll put her in the top 20 or just outside of it. Allenbach. Well, lost a lot of time in the bottom. And in the midway part of the course too. It'll be tough for her to qualify for the second run. Laura Steinmeier, the Italian on course. 25-year-old. From Valderoa, Italy. Hasn't qualified at all in giant slalom this season. Only her 9th career start. Almost 4 seconds back. Just doesn't have the zip in her skis that she needs to be at the top of the World Cup. Remember, she's young. really didn't think she was going to be in the first race in Solden. Got a phone call from the coach that said, hey, you're in, because she had the 2 best qualifying times against the other Italians who were training, and it was an unexpected race for her, but probably won't qualify for that second round. Should have been 29th. Hilma Lofblom, 25th last year here in Åre for the 25-year-old. I saw Sweden's Sara Hector ski out. She's just joining us. It's Hilma Lofblom now, the second Swede on course. So 2 more Swedes coming up, number 43 and 44. They're good to be represented here in their home country. Oh, that's where Hector had a little bit of wide line and skied off course into the nets over on the right of your screen. Lofblom's in the 23rd. She'll get a second run. And look at the marks on her helmet. That tells you she skied a lot of GS. Don't necessarily want to take the GS gates out with your helmet, but it tells me she gets after it. Sophie Mathieu from Italy on course, from the Aosta Valley. Charvensaud, Italy, just across the border from Chamonix. It's only her 5th World Cup start. Oh, watch out. Good skiing so far, good and smooth. Not much of a pole plant. Don't necessarily need that in giant slalom for your timing or to move your body forward. Just a little bit of a tap sometimes on the snow to initiate the turn. She comes through and sits right on the bubble. Francesca Abruzzi Fariol from Argentina, 27-year-old from San Carlos de Bariloche, is on course. 29th in the Olympic giant slalom. Didn't finish in the Super G and the slalom. Oh, she's getting late. She's getting really late. She's going to hang in there, yeah. You gotta fight. You never know what can happen. Almost looked like she wanted to give up, but she gritted her teeth and stayed in there. That's a good job for the marketing student. And again, a little sideways coming off that last roller. Oh, she won't qualify. Yeah, that was a big mistake in the midsection of the course. And too bad for Francesca. Fabiano Dorega from Ski Club 1860 in Munich. Oh no, she's out quickly. Been in the top 33 times this winter in GS. Didn't ski in the Olympic Games, but had a couple of Europa Cup wins during that time. Let's see what happened. Coming through the fast section, did she get caught in that left-footed turn? She did. Yeah, your timing has to be a little bit quicker there because you're coming with so much speed. It has to be dialed in, and it wasn't at the last moment. Here's the Italian, Alice Passalia, 23-year-old from Pisa in Italy. So hopefully she's not leaning in too much like the tower. Gotta stay out and over top of your outside ski with that upper body. And her 4th giant slalom start in her World Cup career, and she's qualified in every single start so far. It's incredible. Who does that in their first 3 World Cup races? Well, maybe Michaela Shiffren, but Alice Passalia is doing it as well. Now 3 seconds back. Finished 27th, 30th, and 24th in those 3 World Cup races. Here she comes. comes Pizzalia. Fourth GS start. Oh no, she won't make it 4 for 4 in GS, too bad. She's gone 3 for 3, but knows it was oh so close. But that'll be a learning experience for her, I'm sure. Can't all be fun and games on the World Cup circuit. Simona Valk, 50th in the giant slalom standings. Coming back from Japan after racing in some Far East Cups. Said the trip was great on an emotional and personal level too. Oh no, a little wide there for Simona. Been over a year since she tore ACL last February. No longer part of the Swiss ski team, and prepared and financed her training independently using crowdfunding to raise money to get onto the World Cup circuit and be able to travel places like Japan to chase the snow and chase some points. Chasing herself down to the finish into 32nd. Yeah, somebody get her a helmet sponsor. Throw a few bucks her way, and hopefully we'll see her back strong and healthy again next season. Sister Elizabeth skied out a little bit earlier. Now it's Mary Bocock, 22-year-old from Salt Lake City, Utah. Competed in the Olympic Games, but was a DNF in the Super G. Oh, a little rough there for Mary. Needs to be, well, 5 seconds is 30th and 3.79 is 29th. So she might just pop into 30th right here if she makes her way down these last 3 gates. She's done it, into her tuck. 31st, all. Okay, back to the drawing board for the Bocock sisters. Hannah Aronson-Elfman will be up next, 23-year-old. Lives in Kiel. It's a small town between Oslo and Stockholm. A bit of a course hold here as they fix another gate that's been dislodged. Elfman will be looking forward to the slalom tomorrow, where she's ranked 24th. So she's close to qualifying for the World Cup finals in that event. 38th in GS. Let's see how she goes. Hannah Aronson-Elfman on course for Sweden. Career best result in Spin the Louvre from bib number 38 all the way to 15. So she can attack from the back. She knows how to do it. Quick timing here, get on that left foot quickly. Hold against the pressure, resist against the G-forces that are pushing your hips down towards your bindings. Use those leg muscles for strength and energy to slingshot you from turn to turn. She was ranked 10th in slalom 3 years ago, but had a lingering foot injury that could be one of the explanations why she's back a little bit further this year. But much more solid in slalom. Aronson-Elfman, and that blood red most of the way down. She's 21st at the Olympic Games in giant slalom. Gotta have good direction there. That's where her teammate skied off course, Sarah Hector, when she had the lead. Aronson-Elfman will sit on the bubble in 30th. And will have to hold her breath for 9 more racers. And her very first World Cup start. Here comes Sophie Nieberg. the daughter of Frederick Nieberg. Frederick is a 5-time Olympian, 7 World Cup wins, 6 in GS. Skied with Freddie back in the day. He was the first guy who initiated the ski flip. When you take your heel piece off in the binding at the finish, and you flick your ski up with your toe piece into your hand, he was the first guy to do it. Didier Couche kicked it up another notch, put a 1.5 twist in there. And now here comes 23-year-old Sophie down to the line in her very first World Cup. Can she get into the top 30? Yes! Well done! Way to go, Sophie! So bumped Elfman down to 31st, but Elfman still seemed pretty happy with her. Teammate, that was good. Here's Selina Egloff, 4th World Cup giant slalom start. The 24-year-old from Switzerland. We see some parachutes up in the distance, parapenters. They go off the top of the mountain, catch the thermal winds that'll let them fly above this race course, and look at her scream the whole way down. Egloff, you can probably hear it from the parachute above. Yeah, chirping like a bird and trying to fly like one too. Here comes Selina. Not going to qualify for that top 30, but that's fun. Just like a tennis player. Here comes Stephanie Grobe. The Swiss just keep coming at us, don't they? Coming in this race off a high after her first career World Cup points in speed. There's an Andorra. The beauty of that story is they lost her luggage on the way to Andorra, so she had to borrow equipment from people. She used Breezy Johnson's helmet and scored her first World Cup point. She said, I don't know if I can keep it, but these special circumstances I'll never forget wearing Breezy Johnson, Olympic champion in the downhills helmet. It'd be a great souvenir for her to have a memorable point score finish, and she's in the points right now, the 26th. Nieberg down to 30th. From Slovakia, Rebeka Jansova is on course, 22-year-old Slovakian. And a World Cup GS debut here in 2023 in Åre. Hasn't qualified in one GS yet this season. Seconds back now, good smooth style. Gotta hit that gym over the summer, get a little bit stronger, and she'll be back in the mix next year. That'll be the end of her GS World Cup season. She won't make the World Cup finals. Jansova down happily. Liquidating Cassidy Gray in the start. Gray proclaimed herself as Canada's sweetheart at the Olympic Games. She had a great time there representing her country. Back into the swing of things after spending a little bit of time at home. Grandfather died at the end of February, so spending some time with some family. Cassidy Gray's got to get back on track. There's a real good chance at qualifying. Best result of the season, 14th in Spin Leroux. 3 seconds back now, gotta get on the gas. It's going to be close for Gray. Last few gates, here she comes. Time running out. Oh no, 32nd. Wow, I really thought she was going to have a great race today after talking with her coach, Laurent Prats. Tough traveling back, getting here only a couple days ago. Dealing with that jet lag is never fun. Jessica Hiltzinger. The German on course. 28-year-old from Grabs, qualified for the Olympics in the team event, but she had no partner to race with because they paired up Emma Eicher with Kirla Weidle. And those two joined up for a silver medal. The 98th World Cup start today. More of a speed skier, hasn't made a second run in the World Cup Giant Slalom so far in her career and won't do it again. She's close, not close enough. Cassidy Gray was really close, only 0.06 of a second away from qualifying. Pick up the drone with Camille Rast from France. Second season racing GS. Had some back problems earlier this season in January. And had one top 30 in GS in Copper Mountain back in December. So third last year, this first run here in the women's GS and the Audi FIS Ski World Cup Tour here in Åre. Rudy won't qualify for that second run, and we have two athletes left. There's Camille's teammate, Axel Chevrier. Fifth World Cup start. First World Cup Super G start was last Saturday for the 24-year-old. From Club de Sport La Plan. A bit wide coming through those few gates there. She's going to lose some time. She was in the mix, but now may not qualify. 3.76 will get you a second run. For time to qualify. 14:15, and she's past that time. 35th. So the last skier of the day, Janine Mekler. She is from Switzerland. 20 years old, grew up in the canton of Zurich, not traditionally a ski region. But excellent technique. Smooth coming through that roller, made a good press to keep her skis on the snow. And she's fighting for this top 30. Her idol is Wendy Holdner, who sits in 24th right now. Top Swiss athlete is obviously Camille Rast, who's got the lead, and Camille Rast will have the lead. Mekler will not make the second run. She's in 35th. So good fun on the first run. A little bit of excitement. A couple of DNFs and some falls, but some good skiing on the most part. Look at that leaderboard. Rast, Scheib, Moltzan, top three. Robinson just 0.6 back, and Lutic, big gap in there between 4th and 5th. Alturi into 10th. Shiffren in 12th. Really hung on to a top spot after making that big mistake. Her teammate in 14th and 19th. Britt Richardson in there as well, and there's Sophie Nieberg qualifying in her very first World Cup race. What a thrill for her. She'll be starting number 1. I'm sure her dad, Frederick, will be absolutely thrilled to watch his daughter go out first on the second run. The second run will come up 1 p.m. local time. So they'll have an hour and a half to get things settled here, do their inspection, have a little bite to eat, and make sure they can charge on the second run. So it's Moltzan, 0.56 back. Scheib, who leads the standings over Rast by 89 points, is in second. And then Rast leads so far. So Rast must win to keep her chance of winning the globe alive. But Scheib is trying to secure that win here today so she can cruise on into those World Cup finals wearing that red leader bib and securing a crystal globe for herself. But don't count out Camille Rast, second in the GS standings, second in the slalom standings. Terrific season for her so far. And we'll get a look at that winning run. It was a little bit sunnier when she came out of the gate, number 2. Had a nice smooth course. The top part where it did chew up a little bit. Maybe a little bit late in that turn right there, but pulled it off nicely. But she managed to recharge her batteries a little bit after the Olympics. Still having some hip issues. Remember, she had her thumb taped at the Olympics because of a thumb injury. Only finished 12th in the giant slalom there. Thumb's working a little bit better than it has been. And Rast has really had a terrific season in giant slalom. 3 podium finishes so far. 1 in Kranjska Gora. And she's been 4th. In the second run, because she's got the lead and the Swiss fans have to be happy about that. Amazing that Rast sits 3rd in the overall standings too, just skiing slalom and giant slalom. She's only 178 points back of Michaela Shiffren. So Shiffren might be feeling the heat a little bit in the overall. As we look over the beautiful region of Åre. That's the lake down at the bottom and the river into Salven, one of Sweden's longest rivers, 430 kilometers, flows into the lake and then flows out of it. And Kulturi had some good flow on the first run. So good skiing from all the women here on the first run. So we'll reverse the top 30 for the second run. Thanks for joining us for the first run on the Audi FIS Ski World Cup Tour and FIS TV. Remember, download the app and find out all the information and live timing there. I'm Brian Stemmel. We'll be back with you for that second run just before 1 p.m. local time.